Duino Elegies by Rilke, translated by Vita Sackville-West and Edward Sackville-West. The third elegy. One thing it is to sing of the beloved, another thing, alas, to celebrate the guilty blood, that hidden river god. She knows him from afar. What knows the youth of that imperious godhead of desire, which, when he was alone, before his love had tamed the god, oft in his love's despite, reared itself up, all dripping from its own mysterious sea, and summoned up the night to endless challenge. Neptune of the blood, with fearful trident, blows from his dusky breast a wind throughout the spiral-twisted shell. Hark how the night scoops out its hollow cave. Is it true, O stars, that youth's desire descends from you to the beloved's face, and finds your candid image mirrored there? It was not you, alas, nor yet his mother who toward expectation arched his brows. It was not you, his lover secret to him, who bent his lips into a richer bow. Think you that, moving like the wind at dawn, your airy coming would have shaken him? True, you appalled his heart, but older fears rushed in to swell the shock. Called to him, his unlighted pilgrimage still holds him by a thread, for even your cry suffices not to free him quite. He'll make a strong attempt, leap out, and bring to rest his lightened burden in your secret heart, there to collect himself and take his birth. But was this work his own? You, mother, were alone at the inception of him, when you gave him his tiniest birth. You it was who moulded round his gaze the friendly world, repelled the hostile world. Oh, whither are gone those years, in which your form, slender and tall, hid tumid chaos from him? Much did you hide from him thus. In the awful night you rid his room of fear, and from the refuge of your heart took out a comforting breath, filling with human shape his empty night. You set the nightlight too, not in the darkness, but in your nearer presence to him there, a lighted image of your tenderness. Nowhere a creaking sound, but you, with a smile, explained it to him, as if you had known for years exactly when the floor behaved like that. And so he listened, and was quieted. So much could you do when you rose up for him. Behind the cupboard strode his destiny, tall in its mantle, and his restless future slid into the curtain's shifting fold. And he himself, quieted at last, lay still, tasting the sweetness of approaching sleep. He seemed as if protected, but within, who could arrest the floods of heritage? Ah, there was no precaution in that sleeper. He slept, but in the fever of a dream, and opened out the floodgates to himself. Young and shy, he was caught up and ensnared, already twisted into patterns by the forward-creeping tendrils of his blood, to writhing growth, wild animal-leaping shapes. So he gave in. He loved. He loved his soul, loved that unruly jungle of himself, precipitate wilderness on which his heart, like a green light, reposed. So he forsook his soul, tearing himself up by the roots with stark primeval leap, out of a tiny birth by then outgrown. With love he climbed down into the ancient blood, into the gorges where the terror lay, still surfeited with father's blood. Each horror knew him, nodded, and seemed to understand. Yea, even she he dreaded smiled at him. Seldom, O mother, did you smile so tenderly. How should he find it in his heart to spurn the smile he loved before yourself? For when you carried him within you in the womb, it was already there, dissolved out in the liquid element that gently bears the growing child. For we are not like the flowers, whose love is rounded by a single year. Our love makes strength undreamed of rise like sap into our arms. O daughter, mark this well. We loved not the one single future child, but those within us, seething, numberless, the fathers like the ruins of a mountain, resting in the deeps of us, the dry riverbed of former mothers, the whole mute landscape under a cloudy or clear-skied destiny. All these, O daughter, came before yourself. And you indeed, what do you know? You beckoned past ages up in him you loved. What feelings writhed up from his nature's transformation? What vengeful ghosts of women, what obscure figures of men did you rouse in his youthful veins? Dead children stretched their hands to you, imploring, softly, very softly, do a deed of love for him, a day's work that will last. Lead him up near the garden, yield to him each night's transcendency, and cherish him.